I play video games and I'm as happy as I can be. My hand-eye coordination is great and my critical thinking skills are on point.
Hey.
Salutations, good people. Welcome to the CS Podcast, where we create stuff. Or if you're Trey. And today, we've got our hands absolutely full with talking about video games. And are they good for us? Are they bad for us? Is it good in moderation?
Yeah, I think everything is good in moderation.
Yeah.
I think as with most things,
Arsenic?
that could be,
Like eating arsenic?
I mean,
Strychnine?
maybe. I mean, okay. Most things, that covers most things. I feel like arsenic is in the subcategory of not most things.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
All right,
so
tee us up.
let's talk about the benefits and then give me your experiences.
Okay.
With these things, like if you've
So you're just gonna like rattle them off?
sure, let's do
Okay,
that.
okay, I didn't know if that's-
We've got quite a instead of going down a deep rabbit hole trail.
Hole, okay.
Hole,
The rabbit hole.
the rabbit hole.
I hear you. That's good.
Hear ya, Saskatchewanian rabbit hole.
Oh, they whisk. Never mind. Never mind.
Okay.
Tell you after the podcast.
Wow, if it's bad for this podcast, it must be bad.
I mean, I guess I just don't want to say it. Like I feel weird saying it.
Okay.
Okay.
It's fair enough. to steal one of your lines. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Cognitive development. Video games can improve hand-eye coordination, reaction time, attention, and problem-solving skills. Do you, young Trayvon, believe that your cognitive skills have been positively impacted by video games?
I mean, I believe so. Definitely, it seems my reaction time. I will say, and this has nothing to do with video games, I feel like I've heard like after 25, like your brain develops differently, and so like some things you slow down on certain things, and like I feel my reaction time has slowed down after 25, but
Really?
It's still faster than like say Morgan's, who doesn't play video games.
Right. It
Yeah.
could just have to do with her being a woman and you being a man.
You know, that sums it up. That's the podcast. Until next time. No,
All jokes.
So, yeah, I definitely feel like my reaction time is faster than, say, somebody who doesn't play video games. She's really the only one that I have to base this, like, I guess this study, this whatever on, because pretty much all of my friends play video games. So it's kind of hard to gauge that since we all have that experience, you know, we all play
Right.
video games. So I would like to say that my reaction time is greater. I think like I'm pretty decent at problem solving, especially like when it comes to work and things like that. When I'm at the station, like thinking on my feet and having to solve an issue that comes up, I'm pretty good at it. Does that come from playing video games? Is it something else? I don't know. So I can't really comment on that. You know, maybe video games have helped.
I'd have to say, like we were having our podcast off the podcast.
Yeah.
You said something to the effect of, because I've had practice.
Yeah.
So your problem-solving skills at work they'd have to be benefited by you playing video games and solving certain games.
Yeah.
You know, certain games are just mindless shoot-'em-up games,
Yeah.
but you know, that's more along the hand-eye coordination thing,
Yeah.
but your problem-solving skills, different set of games, which you're into.
Yeah.
I know with the types of board games that you play are very complex.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, I think, and again, this legitimately could be more because I'm a man and Morgan's a woman, but my spatial reasoning skills are better. And I don't know, like I've heard or I've seen studies that men typically are better with like spatial reasoning, whereas women are better in other regards.
Like, is this like depth perception?
But I'm thinking more like when I pack a car.
Oh,
and
yeah,
being
yeah.
able to fit, you know, like Tetris kind of. And I
Interesting.
say that because like games that require spatial reasoning, like, okay, how do I fit this in there? How do I, like, I can, because I'm having to exercise that muscle. Okay, how
Yeah.
does this puzzle piece fit into here and do this?
Okay.
Translates there. Maybe.
But then I feel like there's definitely not a lack of, I would say, like, you know, females who are more apt, a little more in the direction of being organized.
Yeah. I just meant like
Morgan maybe not being the shining example.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen there's a study like there's something that like men are better at XYZ as far as
Sure.
like cognitive, and women are better at this. Like women can see colors better. Typically, I mean that's the general rule of thumb. That's not the
Absolutely.
same thing. They see colors better. We can we understand. I guess the best way I can explain it is Morgan will go. She'll be like, I'm going to move that dresser over there. And I go, there's not enough room. You're not going to be able to move that dresser over there. She goes, I can move that dresser over there. And then she gets there and it's about 1.5 inches, 2 inches too wide, and it will not fit in that space. And I'm like I can eyeball that dresser, look at the space and go, it's too big.
Gotcha.
And I think I could be wrong. I feel like I watched
Sure.
this on something, but that men are typically better at that kind of spatial
Okay.
reasoning there.
Sure. I get that. I would have to say my cognitive development, I would imagine has benefited from video games for sure, because I don't think I've ever been like, I can watch younger, like let's just say like 12, 14-year-olds.
Yeah.
David being one of them that I've watched play video games, and like Courtney's son Matthew, like to watch these two young guys like play video games. They're better at their craft and playing video games than I was at that age.
Dude, right?
I was a slow learner. But when I got it, I get it.
Yeah.
But it just like, I don't know, having to go through that adaptation of learning how something works, I feel like being able to adapt to a situation and just, problem solve a certain type of problem solving.
I also think like this is a little bit of a tangent. Sorry, I'm setting up the timer so that we can actually stop on
Get out of here on time.
I forgot. Yeah.
Hear the work whistle blow.
Right. Or vibrate my arm.
Yeah.
I wonder how am I trying to put this? I've noticed, like I was pretty decent at games growing up, but this generation, like this newer generation, is so good, and I wonder if it's because they are raised alongside not only are they raised alongside the technology, because I mean we were raised on, like I had an Atari, or something, or like my brother had an Atari and I played it, or I remember getting an N64. Maybe it's not so much raised alongside the technology so much as the games have advanced. Right. And so they're not learning, their beginner level is not the same beginner level that you and I had.
Our beginner level was not 2D Mario.
Yeah.
Or their beginner level was not.
Yeah. So it's crazy to see, like you see 7 and 8-year-olds killing it at Fortnite.
Yeah.
I suck at Fortnite. And I've been playing shooters. I played Gears of War. Like I played third-person shooters. Like,
well, the building
I've been
aspect.
For a while. Yeah, that's new too.
I look at the building aspect of Fortnite, and I don't even want to attempt it.
Yeah.
Courtney and I were just talking about that last night, and I told her this actually got brought up. That conversation did not spawn this discussion today, but she was like, I just have no, she goes, I would be awful at building aspect of Fortnite, because when it started, it was, you'd build a wall and you'd build another wall. Now it's
it's crazy. Yeah, and they're 20 feet in the air, and you're just like in 2.5 seconds.
And these kids want to learn so bad that they invest the time because it's important to them.
Yeah.
It is important to them because it's the latest trend fad game, and it's what all their friends are playing. So to adapt to the social standard, they have to learn how to do it.
I didn't even think about the social implications. So
Isn't that crazy?
We played video games like. You play Halo?
Yeah.
You play Halo 2?
Yeah.
You know how to super jump?
I don't know.
So that was like, that's probably the closest that I get to like a social implication of us growing up. So in Halo 2, you crouch, all I can think of is high rise. You crouch under this little thing, you jump up on this, you don't take the stairs, you jump up on this lip, run around, run up a pair of stairs, jump off this, this 2-foot tall thing, and you land in a certain spot, you hit A, and you bounce 100 feet in the air.
Okay.
And like that was through word of mouth. You figured those out, and like the cool people did it. But like we didn't have social media to tell us to do that. And like I never practiced it. I never would have practiced it because I never would have heard about it if I hadn't run across somebody that did it. But because it's because now we have social media and we have videos, and you want to be an influencer, whatever. It's dictating their lives to the sense it's like, no, you have to be able to build this way. You have to play Fortnite this way. We played because it was fun, and maybe we learned something new, and like we discovered something. Right. There's that sense of discoverability. Whereas now it's like you play these games. You have to play it a certain way because your favorite streamer plays it that way, or because you saw a TikTok that does it this way, and everybody that you see that plays Fortnite or whatever plays it this way.
Right.
It's interesting. I never thought about the social implications.
I haven't really either. That is wild. And I kind of miss the days where my friend and myself, Chris, we would play WWF No Mercy.
Okay.
And, you did moves or whatever. And then, so there was this tag team called the Dudley Boys. Well, their finishing move was the 3D. And they work together to deliver the move.
Okay.
One guy picks the guy up by his legs, and the other guy runs, times it just right, and grabs a hold of his head, and they slam him into the mat.
Okay.
So in this game, you had to Chris came to me and he goes, "Do you know that you can do the 3D in No Mercy?" I'm like, "No." He said, "Yes, so this is how you have to do it." So I'm an only child, so I'm sitting in my room with 2 controllers hooked up, and I'm like having to, go back and forth and position it, and then I see it happen on the game, and I'm not streaming, I'm not doing this for anybody but myself, and to see that move happen that I didn't think was possible, I called Chris on the phone, on my landline phone.
On your landline, you ran in there.
And I was like, "Dude, I just did the 3D. And he's like, it's crazy, right? We don't have that anymore. We don't have
thinking about that sense of discoverability, we're kind of going off topic here, but I'm playing Hogwarts Legacy right now. And I have made it a point, so you can find all these different little discoverables and stuff, right? And one of the little side quests, you have to find keys to put into these cabinets to get coins. And I'm not going to say any more than that. And you just play the game, you figure it out, and you'll see. But I made it a point, and I ran all over Hogwarts last night trying to find this last damn cabinet. And I finally found it. And it's been a while since I felt that sense of discoverability because it's so easy to go to all these different gaming news outlets and be like, where are all the cases to get the coins in Hogwarts Legacy?
Just a walkthrough. There's going to be 20 streamers who have done the same walkthrough.
Have done it, and they show you exactly where it's at with screenshots and you just walk out this door and do this and do that. And
if you don't like somebody's voice that tells you to do it, just go to the next one.
Yeah, or read an article. That's what I do is I just look at the screenshot and go, okay, that looks about right. They'll give you a screenshot where it's at on the map. I can go right there. It's easy. But yeah, that sense of discoverability, I was like, this is nice. I haven't had this in a while. Mm-hmm. And so,
that's cool.
A lot of games hold your hand nowadays, or the way they're designed, and quests and things. But anyways, I digress. How about any more positive correlation with video games?
So this one, I feel like there's a negative that's masked by this. If not, I guess, done in a certain way, and if you're not aware of the negative effects and whatever. It's recently started messing with me when it comes to levels of dopamine, but the positive is stress relief. Gaming can serve as an escape from real-world stressors and provide a relaxing and entertaining way to unwind.
It's so funny talking about stress relief because Morgan and I, you ever played Overcooked?
I don't think so.
Absolute chaos. Absolute bloody chaos.
Okay.
So you're like just this little person, and the whole objective of the game is you get 2 minutes, and you're in this kitchen, and you got to make the dish.
Okay.
So it'd be like tomato soup, and so you got to pick up the tomato out of the box. You got to run it over. You got to chop the tomato. Then you got to take the tomato and go throw it into in the pot and let it cook. And I don't know, it kind of relaxes me. I just kind of get in a groove and I'm doing it. I don't play it a whole lot, but I was like, oh, this will be fun for us to play. So I was like, hey, babe, let's play this.
Yeah.
She quit. She lasted 1 round, and she goes, I don't know how you do this. She goes, that is so stressful. She goes, I hated it. She goes, I have so much anxiety right
Wow.
now because you're on the clock. You get 2 minutes. And so I have to run over and grab the tomato and I have to set it on the chopping block. She has to chop it while I go grab another tomato. And then once it's done chopping, you got to take it and you got to run it. I mean, it's frantic. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But it's fun. And it's just an escape. And I don't have to think about anything. I can play it and it's fun playing it with other people. And it's hilarious. Like when you screw up or you're like, go, 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 go. You got to get it's burning. You know, you take it off of there. Me, I was like, okay, this is nice. This is kind of relaxing. Her, absolute opposite.
Wow.
Super stressed out. Hated it.
That is fascinating.
So it's funny how different games can affect people differently.
Right.
My buddy that I play Call of Duty with and stuff, I remember when they dropped like the zombie stuff in Warzone, like zombies would drop at you. He was like, it would stress him out because he was like, I don't like this. Like, I don't like the zombies. Like, it just stresses me out. And like for me, I thought it was fun.
Right.
You know, it's funny to see people's different reactions to that.
So it might be safe to say that someone like yourself has an overall, like, it doesn't matter if it's chaos, if it's maybe even if it's a little horror, a little scary,
Yeah.
like the anxiety of it is for you maybe positive anxiety, and it's a nice release. It's a nice escape.
Exactly. The only time it ever becomes a problem is something like Bloodborne or Dark Souls, where I'm bashing my head into a brick wall over and over trying to defeat a certain boss, and then it's not anxiety. I just get frustrated and I have to walk away. But,
Right.
Yeah.
I could see that. It's definitely, like, for me, like this past week, it was, so we're, I'm waking up way earlier than I normally would, getting the workout in first thing in the day, and I'm accomplishing things way earlier in the day than I normally would, and by the end of the day, I'm finding myself with a little extra time. Now, granted, I'm making it a point to get in bed by 10 o'clock, but if it's 8:30, I can play a little, let's just say Fortnite for a while, and I'm calm. Like, it is a nice detox from the day.
It's an escape.
It's an escape. However, Fortnite has really became, I saw one of the negative effects. I'm jumping ahead a little, but it can be like, the word aggression is a little harsh because I get frustrated.
Yeah.
I get extremely frustrated to the point that I feel like I now have a shorter fuse with inanimate objects and technology. Like, if something doesn't work, I find that my patience is negative.
Yeah.
Like negative 2,000 when it comes to, like, if I die on Fortnite and I think it's a BS reason because Fortnite's had a lot of bugs lately.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't even play a game right because of this and that and the other thing. And then I'm on the computer trying to work with Photoshop and something kind of is janky, or maybe it's even my fault.
Yeah.
I find myself with a much shorter fuse.
Now, the question is that because of Fortnite and your frustration with it, or is it because of the other stressors that are piling up and Fortnite just happens to be another one of those stressors?
Maybe I'm pushing it over on Fortnite. I'm releasing on Fortnite.
Maybe, potentially, if that's what you're into.
No.
Some of those skins on there, I guess. I don't know. But I don't know. I'd be curious.
Yeah.
Like if we put you in a vacuum, just sucked you up, and there was nothing in there but Fortnite and no other stressors, nothing else to worry about, would you still be as aggressive?
That's a good, like, zero stressors, like,
just Fortnite.
That's interesting. I mean,
I think that it can add to stress.
Yeah.
But to say that Fortnite is what makes you aggressive or whatever, like if that's a negative side effect, I don't know. There's so many different factors in there. That's the same reason I was so hesitant to say, in the positive stuff, like, I think that video games could help me cognitively, and they have. I just don't know if it's just the video games or if it's whatever. And same thing with Fortnite or, any of those games where you get frustrated. Like, even if you hadn't played Fortnite before you did that Photoshop, you still could have, because of the stress of that day, still could have gone into Photoshop and then been, yelling at your computer or your inanimate object because you were stressed and still frustrated and angry.
So here's an interesting part to add. No, that's a good take. I find when I play by myself, I'm way less I'm a lot more calm when I play by myself.
Really?
If I play with Courtney, not with anybody else, but with Courtney, because I'm comfortable with Courtney.
Yeah.
If I play with her and we lose, and it doesn't have to be her fault, something doesn't have to be my fault or whatever, or it could be that I felt like we weren't playing good together.
Yeah.
Or that I did something. I am as hard on myself as I am on anybody.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I will run myself into the dirt, and like, I'll literally go, good job, Oglesby. First time holding a shotgun in this game. That's just what we do. You know, we let them run around behind us and make a effing fool out of ourselves. That's real good. Kind of throw the controller down.
I've seen
I'm like, well done, man. And see, I don't get like that if I've never been like this with a game. Maybe when I was a kid, I'd get frustrated. But
Yeah.
when I play like Halo or like Zombies or even Call of Duty, like I'll get upset and frustrated, not to the level and the consistency that I have with Fortnite. I could be having a good day. That's the thing. I could be having a good day and go, nah, man, I can't wait to play some Fortnite. I sit down and play it, and then within...
This day's dog shit.
Yeah, within 40 minutes, I'm like, you know what? My day was going good, and my dumbass sat down and played this game that I know is going to frustrate me. Like, why do I even play?
That's a good point. Maybe it does. Maybe it does. It does make you a tad bit aggressive.
And then there's days where I'll like one of the last times I played, I sat down. I played 2 games solo. I won both. Now, when you win, you get a crown. And then the second time you play, while you're wearing a crown, if you win, it's called a crowned victory.
Nice.
And I'm trying to rack up my crowned victories and beat last season's. I've blown it out of the water.
Oh, okay,
but,
good.
yeah, getting like over 8 really isn't that big of a deal. But
well, you know,
for me it is. I'm at 17. So
that's pretty good.
It's only my 3rd season of Fortnite.
That's more than I have.
That's true.
I have 0 victories and 0 crowned victories. So.
That's like saying you're the nicest guy in prison.
But I have quite a few losses, so.
Oh, I'll carry you.
Okay.
But
when you saw my footprints in the sand and the pickaxe dragging along, I knew that you carried me to a crowned victory.
Right. So I sat down, and it was like after a good day of, like, I was following up with everybody that I was supposed to, had hit the gym, my meals were on point. I sat down, and I was just in a positive mood. I won a game. Next game, won again. And I put the controller down. I'm like, I'm good. And I'm walking on cloud 9 for the rest of the day. It's a fantastic
What is
day.
it, Seinfeld? He's like, you got to know when to quit while you're on top.
Right.
He's like, that's why I quit doing the show. He goes, up top.
Right. And that's good.
Yeah.
That was good that day. But I could also, like, leave that, and it completely changed my mood.
Yeah.
The whole day be going good.
Okay.
And then, I mean, it's with any scenario. It could make or help break.
Yeah.
It doesn't change my day completely. I'll still
Okay.
get done what I need to get done, so it's not some kind of massive issue.
Yeah. So what are some positive? Let's dive into, I guess, a couple negatives too.
Okay, so one of the positives was improved learning, so we don't have to talk about that.
Okay.
The only other positive that I don't want to skip on is social connection.
I would say
This is a good segue because this could be a positive or a negative.
so for me. It's weird. I'm actually the opposite. I get social anxiety on video games. As weird as that sounds. So you've seen me out at like Quick Trip or something, like at a gas station, you know, and I'm pretty whatever. Like someone like, hey, how are you? Like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like
You're more on the friendlier side.
yeah, I don't like to play like multiplayer games unless I'm in a party with friends. I like Call of Duty. I won't go online by myself because I don't want to play with other people. I just don't have that desire. Like there's some kind of anxiety. Like I just don't.
Like actually play against other players or talk.
Oh
to,
yeah, like
or
actually
talk to
play against
people?
both.
Okay.
Like I don't want to play against them. I don't want to talk to them. But like if I'm in a party with my friends, it's completely different. But I have that weird social anxiety. So I wouldn't say I actually think I do worse socially on video games than I do in real life.
But now you would play Warzone a lot, right?
With friends.
With your friends.
Just with friends. Like I would not drop into Warzone solo.
Okay.
Ever. I don't know if I've ever dropped into Warzone solo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just not my thing. I don't
See, I prefer solo on most things.
Yeah.
Once I got over... So I had that same social anxiety about just playing with other people in general.
Yeah.
When I first started online was 2015 with Black Ops 3.
Yeah.
Call of Duty. And it was the first time ever I'd had the internet to play multiplayer
Yeah.
on a video game. It seems like I'm super late to the party, and I was. So I started playing it, but I had been playing with... at David's house, I'd played
Yeah.
Call of Duty, and I'm like... I'm playing against actual other people in the world. It blew my mind.
Yeah, it's
like
wild.
I was in my mid-20s when everybody had been playing for like 10 years at that point. I'm new to the game, and I'm like, there's other people. Like, it's just constantly other people. This is wild.
Yeah.
So, it freaked me out at first. The thought of playing against, and if, you might laugh at me or whatever, but think about the first time you played an online game. Maybe you did it when you were 7, and it's not a big deal to you, and you don't even remember that you were supposed to be freaked out.
Yeah.
But for me, being somebody in their early to mid-20s, it was a weird thing to know that I'm competing against these real-life people, whereas my whole life, I had spent playing video games to get away from people and to be by myself.
Yes.
So doing that with other people was wild, but then when I would get a kill, I'd go, okay, well, if I can get one, I can improve on that. And then I'd want to get better and better. So I quickly got rid of that social anxiety about playing against other people and getting these kills and bettering my score, and then I just wanted to be the best. Then if I didn't win, now we really gotta ramp it up, like, which is how I am with Fortnite. If I die, it's just, oh my god. If I don't win every game, that's why it pisses me off, because I can't win every game.
Okay, so it's not Fortnite that pisses you off. It's the unrealistic expectations you set upon yourself that make you aggressive.
That's a good.
I think we've cracked it.
I won't deny it one bit. But then I got to the point where it's like, unless it would be somebody like you or David to get me online to play with, well, even really with friends, I have to be at a place like I could be relaxing and playing, let's just say solo Fortnite by myself and enjoying myself. I have a candle lit. There's a log fireplace lit on my second monitor. And I am just in a vibe. And I am good. And I am relaxed.
I picture you like in a bathrobe, like a red velvet bathrobe. You've got curlers in your hair, but you don't need them. And like, and like you just kind of sit down, click with your little mouse, and like, poof, the fireplace lights up, and you're just, and you just kind of sink into your chair, and you're just like, let's get this dub. And you just go.
I've got my toes in one of the little toe spacers to paint your nails.
But you don't actually paint them. You just have them spread apart.
I just want them spread apart. I want my little toe beans on display.
Oh, God. So I would say, like, at least as far as socially, while I am more, I guess, socially anxious online, I don't think that has correlated at all into my normal life. I'm a very social person. Like, video games haven't made me antisocial. But I also I would say it probably hasn't helped me either, in the sense that I obviously do not like to talk to people online, and I avoid them. Whereas when I'm out and about, I'm pretty good about it.
Right.
You know?
Well, I think that's now that I'm thinking about it, I believe it's a sign of a healthy relationship between real life and video games. So for me, I don't want to talk to people while I'm playing video games, because it's a time to recharge my batteries from having to deal with people.
That's a good point.
During the day. So it's like, oh, I'm Mr. Antisocial over here. It's like, no, if you wanted to go, I don't know if basketball was your hobby. If you went to play basketball to blow off some steam, you're not really into competing. You just want to shoot some hoops.
You just want to practice your free throw.
To get away from people. I don't know that anybody,
You got your headphones in and you're just shooting your baskets and going. I don't think anybody would judge you for it.
Right. Well, nobody judges you for going into a gym and wanting to be by yourself to work out.
That's a good point.
I mean, you can have a workout buddy. It's like, that's my escape. To get away from people. Now, if I have a dedicated workout partner, that's different. But like, just same way with playing Fortnite. Now, Courtney just happens to be my workout partner. That's a different thing, because it's an everyday, it's a routine. She's my Fortnite partner now. We have a little team, and that's what we do. And it's been a very, talking about video games and like how it affects the outside world, it has played such an interesting role on our relationship, on like overcoming obstacles and like little arguments, or sometimes even big arguments, and then how we work through that, and then working together as a team and celebrating together as a team.
I think that is something. Is that even on the list?
No,
I think that's a good positive that you just brought up.
Yeah,
it's a great team building exercise.
it really is.
And how that translates from digital to physical,
Right.
And how you treat your partner, whether it be your actual partner, your romantic partner, or somebody at work, a coworker, your boss, whatever.
Right.
If y'all played video games together, if you played Human Fall Flat together and overcame these obstacles, maybe it would help build this camaraderie.
Right.
I could definitely see that.
I think it has, because I've lost my cool a time or two and told her she should have done something that, and I've felt super guilty about it afterwards, and I'm like, okay, well, it's a good little lesson for me to keep my cool in certain situations, because she didn't do it how I would have done it.
Yep.
I'm somebody who's been playing video games my whole life, and Fortnite is literally her first game that she's played on a regular basis.
Yep. I'm so bad about backseat playing.
Yeah.
Like Morgan will play something, and I'm sitting there, and like there's something staring her in the face, and I'm like, go interact with that. But I'm not going to tell her. Like I have to really, like I'm like,
let her make her mistakes, and then tell her how she can improve.
Yeah, she'll walk past it, she'll miss that collectible, and that's fine. Like she'll just have to live with that.
Yeah, like would be me. Wouldn't be me though.
Nope, not me.
Oh my god, that's so good.
So we got any more? Let's throw out one more. Do we have a big negative in there?
Yeah.
Before we wind down.
So I think. So I'll hit on a couple little ones. We won't expand.
Okay.
The social isolation. It says spending excessive amounts of time playing video games can lead to a lack of real-life social interaction, which can harm relationships and contribute to feelings of loneliness and isolation.
I mean, I could definitely see that. I could see that being a thing.
Right. If you don't have that, like for me, it's a way to recharge batteries and escape. And, and sometimes just recreationally. I mean, it's like working out. Like I love working out, I would think more than I do video games. It's a different vice. It's a different vice altogether.
Yeah.
But I think my relationship between playing games... Now, there's been a game or two where I've gotten sucked in for like a solid week and I've lost hours and hours on end. But it would be the same to me if... So many of these things with video games can be compared to going out drinking.
Thank you.
It's tied into... It's just like with anything.
Well, I was going to say... I think the elephant in the room, should I say, is why is there not this same distinction with movie buffs?
Right.
Why is it okay for somebody to binge watch an entire season of Netflix, but if they want to sit down and play 3 hours of whatever, Fortnite, suddenly it's a problem.
Right.
Suddenly it's an addiction.
Yeah.
Suddenly they're aggressive. And it makes them aggressive.
Right.
Never mind the fact that this person just watched all 8 seasons of Game of Thrones in, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of violence in that.
Right.
But that doesn't make them aggressive.
Right.
Even though this person is playing Call of Duty. Well, that person just watched, I don't know,
40 beheadings and now
or somebody reading. Why is that not an addiction? Why are these other things socially acceptable?
Yeah.
Hobbies, I should say.
Yeah, let's
Whereas
just take any hobby.
Video gaming is very much a subclass. Like, if you partake in it, and even if you just dabble in video games and play a little bit, maybe all you play is Madden every once in a while.
Right.
Well, you just play it too much. All you do is play video games.
This is a really good example.
Yeah.
Courtney's dad, John Stout. Stout is what he told the lady at the Chinese restaurant when we went to eat.
Okay.
She was like, Stout? He goes, well, I'm Stout. And she's like, your name? He goes, well, my name is John Stout. OUT. And it, like, I'd been told all these stories about her dad and his character and his personality, and then I saw him lean up against the counter and go, well, my name, dude, is like, if him and my dad got in a room together, I would never want to leave that room. I would never want to leave that room. However, he plays. I'll have to tell you about his golf games. That he plays. He's retired.
Plays in Rory McIlroy's PGA Tour 11, or does he play the old links? My dad used to play links.
So he plays on PC, and I don't know what game he plays, but he's got a buddy who will come over on Friday nights with his own setup. And they'll or he gets together with his buddy.
Do they LAN party?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought you were going to say. I was like, man, that's still a thing. People don't LAN party anymore. Remember when you had to everybody bring their Xboxes over and you hook them. Oh, yeah.
Well, see, that's never mind. But yeah, it'd be a long conversation. But yeah, that's okay. I don't know. Maybe they do just get online together.
Maybe they just sit together and play. They just enjoy each other's presence, which is still sweet. I like that.
Yeah, and he says they'll play 3 rounds or something, and it'll be a nice Friday evening or whatever. And he talks about creating his own golf course and all this. He told me this over Christmas. And I see him doing his thing in his room, and he's such a cool dude. But anyways, he said with his ex-wife, he would play. I think he was still playing like on a PC. This would have been, I don't know, probably a good little while back. She always kind of judged him for it because he was a grown man. I think nowadays, like, we're in a bit of a different time to where grown men, shifting. It's a little more acceptable now than what it was, because it was so different back then. It's
still just the hobby of video games in general, from like an older perspective, is very demonized.
I think it is. I don't think it gets. It's not put into perspective, or it's not put into context.
Well, what gets me is like, it's okay for, let's say you take Johnny, who grows up and plays guitar. And so he spends 8 hours a day in his room playing guitar, mastering that craft, and that's acceptable.
Right.
Because being a musician is fine, and he can, I don't know, start a band and do something with that. But, Timmy that sits in his room and plays, I'm going to go with Fortnite for 8 hours a day, because there's a streamer, a professional video game player that won Fortnite tournament and won, what, $3 million?
It was probably Booga, yeah.
I was thinking Ninja. Ninja didn't he?
Well, Ninja has made a complete career. He was a perfect balance of personality as a streamer and skill.
But he went to like a Fortnite tournament, didn't he? Like, he was...
I'm sure he did.
And won like a shit ton of money. That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm painting the picture here, is you've got Jimmy, that is a professional guitarist that gigs every Friday, Saturday night and goes on tours.
Right.
Then you have Timmy, that is a professional Fortnite player and makes just as much money. But Timmy's the one that's demonized, and Jimmy's praised for his rock and roll lifestyle. Like, that's what gets me, is they both spent the exact same amount of time doing the same thing, both in isolation and socially, because when you're playing Fortnite, you're kind of being social. I mean, you have people that you're talking to. You probably squat up. Like, that's what I'm getting at, is this distinction that video games bad, everything else good.
Well, so my point in bringing up this guy, I think he was the first one who like won the big, like the biggest like Fortnite tournament there ever was.
Maybe.
But you'd never heard of him, right?
Nope.
Ninja, who is really good, and I don't know how much he's competed or not. We know him because of his personality and his skill.
Yeah.
This guy, Booga, who I'd never heard of until I started playing Fortnite and started watching a couple videos, he's got his own skin in Fortnite now.
Oh, that's cool.
But kind of unknown, but worked to this competitive level to where there's an arena of thousands of people watching him, and he won to the tune of $2 to $3 million.
Yeah.
Like, and this unknown guy who you would have never known unless he had spent all these hours on it. And now it's acceptable, but you got to know that at first his parents very well could be, him. Yeah, and probably everybody. Okay, now it's time to get a real job.
Yeah,
and then he makes it, and that's my boy. I'm so proud of him. Yep. I knew he could do it, and it's like, come on now.
Yeah, which I mean, to an extent, can be said about other things too. Getting into the musician side of things. Wow, when are you going to cut your hair, get a job, and get a real job instead of playing, at the dipping branch every Friday night, with
The dipping
with your
branch.
friends. Yeah.
I just see a little sophisticated branch dipping a French fry or potato chip in some Grey Poupon.
Yeah. And now he's playing sold out stages, Now he's, that's my boy. But
Right.
how many times did he hear, cut your hair, get a job, get a real job. When are you going to quit? You're never going to make it.
Well, the same teachers that told me, I don't think being a pro wrestler is such a good idea.
Yeah.
That's not a real job. Were the same teachers who were paying to get into my shows in Pickens County.
Yep.
And taking their kids to watch me.
And probably going, man, I taught him. He was
Yeah, I
great. I
taught
remember
him.
him. Yep. I knew he was going to do great.
But it's just interesting. So my point or my comparison, I said the perfect example with John was his wife gave him a hard time about being a grown man playing video games. And she said, does it ever bother you does it ever bother yourself that you're a grown man playing these games? And he said, what do you mean? Like explain that to me.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I'm just saying, this seems like something for kids, but you're a grown man who spends some of his free time playing these games. He goes, I tell you what. He said, how about I go take out a loan and I go buy a new fishing boat and I'll go buy all this fishing gear and I'll stay gone as much as I can. As much time as I spend doing this, I'm going to go fishing and I'm not going to be around the house to help you. And she goes, you've made your point, keep playing your game.
I think an even better comparison would be if he were to have gone and started playing basketball or baseball, because sports seem very much, you play sports as a kid. Mm-hmm. I know fishing is a sport, sorry, but what I'm saying is I find the same correlation when we talk about people. They're like, so you're just watching that guy play a video game,
right?
I don't get it. And I'm like, so you're just watching those guys throw a football. I just don't get it.
Yeah. You take the thing, you throw the thing, the person catches the thing, and then they get
you're
it to
not doing the thing, but you get the same amount of dopamine hit as if you were doing the thing. So why is it any different when I'm watching, this guy play Mario or play whatever?
Right.
And odds are it could be much more entertaining because you've got a personality there depending on who you're watching.
Yeah.
That
level of connection there.
Yeah. I can talk to this person. You can't sit there and send a message to, I don't know, Patrick Mahomes while he's out on the field. You can't drop a chat in there and talk to him.
It's much more personal.
Yeah.
That's why big companies have gotten to a point where they would much rather sponsor a streamer than they would something else.
Yeah.
I can't think of a good example, but right now. But they know that this streamer,
I can just tell you've been reading your book.
Oh, absolutely.
It's
coming straight from that.
Yeah, Jimmy brings it up. Jimmy talks about it. Well, I just know at one point he talks about a certain game that's coming up tomorrow, and he goes, I don't understand why they sink money. They spend $500,000 to $1 million on ads for this big game when they could give that money to me. We're talking about Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
He goes, it's much more personable. I have a connection with the audience
that you can't have with this commercial.
And instead of getting 30 seconds, he goes, I'll give you a 10-minute video.
Yeah.
Or like you're talking about with the streamers, you have a streamer sitting there. Instead of spending that $500,000 to $1 million on a big ad,
right?
You feed it to the streamer,
and they wear your stuff for 3 hours while they're playing a game.
Yeah.
Somebody looks up to this streamer and they're wearing your apparel or drinking your sports drink,
or hear this streamer say, "Hey, wear this," or "Hey, I love this brand. Hey, this is what my favorite shirt." They're gonna want that shirt.
Right. They're going to want to feel the same level of specialness. They're going to want to feel special when they sit down and play that same game. And it's just the experience.
There's trust. There's a trust that is inevitably built there.
That is the word right
trust.
there.
They trust this streamer because they spend 3 hours a day with him, 4 days a week, they get to see his personality. They know him. Whether that's actually the streamer's personality or not, that's a completely different story. It doesn't matter.
Right.
This streamer has built this trust with them that you're not going to get on the same 30-second ad that runs in every commercial block.
Right.
It's not the same.
Why would somebody reach out to a TikToker in South Carolina and trust them with the home buying process versus going to Zillow and typing in, yes, contact an agent, please. Have a random agent.
Give me somebody random.
But it's Zillow. It's super trusted.
Yeah.
Because they don't know the person that's coming. Now, granted, they don't personally know me.
Yeah.
But they see me every day on TikTok. And they see me in homes. They see that I'm a real person. They trust me versus signing up through Realtor or Zillow and having a random person who paid for you.
Yep.
Paid. Anybody watching, when you reach out to Zillow or Realtor, that agent that calls you, they are paying for you to call them. Or they're paying for your number to come through. I'm saying, hey, if you want to work with me, I'm here. I'm in this area. I can help you.
Yeah.
I don't know. That would be to me, that is the biggest shift in business in the past decade.
Oh, absolutely. With
2
social media and
decades,
everything.
maybe.
Yeah. And I think we're going to see more and more companies shifting that way, realizing that, hey, it's better. I think it's better for everybody. It's better for the consumer because assuming you're watching a streamer that has, that is ethical and has morals, they're not just going to point you to something. They're going to be using a brand that they legitimately trust.
And they have that responsibility.
Yeah, well, it also comes into, if it's an endorsement, you can't, you kind of have to. I did a whole training on that at work, by the way. Not that that's going to keep people from lying, but there are standards and they're held to code for that, which is good to know. But
well, here's a best case scenario, and it was a story out of the YouTube formula book.
Yeah.
I want to say it was a lady and her husband, or maybe it was just a lady who it was.
She made quilts or something.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, okay,
I know
that's
exactly
where I
what
thought
you're
you were
talking
going.
about, but this had to do with, I want to say, beauty products or like lotions and soaps or something.
Soaps, yes, like soaps and lotions.
And it ended up in Walmart. Well, folks, they go to Walmart and they can go to Walmart. The big name brand is involved some way, but it's helping the small time creator, not so small time at that point, put their products on the shelves.
And because the people watch her videos or their videos, they know them.
They see it in their local big chain store, and they go, I know them, and they want to buy it because it's a person.
Was it shampoo? It was shampoo.
Okay, I wouldn't doubt it.
It's Heritage. Was it Heritage shampoo?
I don't remember the name.
I'm fairly certain it is. You want to know why?
Why?
Because I have some in my fucking shower.
Are you really?
I remember reading it and seeing it and go, oh my God, Morgan bought that.
Wow. Holy crap. That's cool.
I think it was shampoo. We may be talking about two totally different, but that was another person that was referenced in that book.
Okay.
That their product went into a big name store.
Yeah.
I think it was Target. I think that's where Morgan got it.
I would have to say it might be two different stories, but I know
it's similar. But
we read the same book, so
yeah.
it's one of those stories.
That stood out to me because I was like, oh my God! I was like, I have that in my. I've used that product.
Yeah,
like, I know what this is, and I had no idea it started off as a YouTuber.
It's such a crazy concept. It's so wild, but so we really expanded on social isolation.
Yeah. Is that where we... Okay.
So,
wow.
So to talk about the very last negative thing that we were supposed to expand on,
yeah.
I think you could tie all of these last few things into kind of the same category.
Okay.
Or the same negative category. So the word is addiction.
Yep.
And I would tie the effects of that, like physical health issues and sleep problems, into this addiction of video games.
Yeah. Keep going. I'm going to...
Okay. Gotcha. So when I think about addiction, from my own personal experience, I think about times in my life where I played video games more so than others. And it was really tied to just wanting to complete something. I would say things that I would have been, quote, addicted to. I'd say Grand Theft Auto at one point.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I remember over summer break playing until 6 in the morning, sleeping until 12 or 1, waking up and playing until like stopping to eat and go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And, but that didn't last for a month. It might have lasted for 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah. I think it's a very gray area, and I guess it really depends on how you define, like, what the definition of addiction is and what those...
I think the way it would be defined from a broader spectrum, on a broader spectrum, is when it starts to negatively impact your life, your work,
that makes sense.
your personal relationships, your romantic relationships, your relationship with your children.
Yeah.
When it starts to really hinder, I'm not saying, hey, let daddy have an hour to play his video game. It's been a long day, and we just played for 2 hours. Dad's going to go do his thing to recharge batteries, and then dad's going to come back and play. I don't think we're talking about that here.
Absolutely.
It's I come home, neglect all of my responsibilities, my wife, my child, and I just sink 4 hours into video games.
Yeah.
I stay up. I'm waking up groggy. I'm not performing. My work is good, but I can't stop because I'm just so, like, that's where I've got to get my fix from.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I feel like that's, when it starts impacting things, but again, with anything.
Yeah. And I mean, that makes sense. I'm just wondering, like, especially when you're younger, if you don't have a whole lot of responsibilities,
right?
If that's how you pass the time, how is playing 4 or 5 hours of a video game, then cooking, eating, and then maybe doing something else and then going back to video games or something, like, how is that any different than watching TV? Or, I mean, you can eat and watch TV at the same time.
Exactly.
Like,
I don't know that we'd call that an addiction, though.
Or, it's just,
like,
it's I don't know.
It's a big gray area. What's funny is the news, or one of the videos that I watched on my way over here in research for this podcast, was there's arguments that you cannot be addicted to video games.
Really?
There was an argument there. I don't remember that they really talked a whole lot about that.
Mm-hmm.
However, the article was also surrounding a man who would play video games for 12 hours a day, and he, like, every day.
Yeah.
Like, every single day he was playing video games, and it really strained his marriage.
Oh, I guarantee
And really he had 2 kids. He had a little boy and a little girl. I want to say he almost got fired.
Yeah.
And it all tied back to video games. And he went into rehab.
Okay.
He did a 90-day rehab detox from video games.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder what that looks like.
I don't know. But once he got back, like, he sent in a video. He's like, hey, I'm doing better. I mean, it was like recovering from a drug.
Yeah, absolutely.
And while somebody might say video game addiction doesn't exist, this man who almost lost everything he had was like, I mean, I could get addicted to smelling pine trees.
Yeah.
Wouldn't
that be a fun one?
I should make a video game about smelling pine trees. Get addicted to that.
Pine tree simulator. Pine tree sniffer simulator. Tree sniffer simulator?
Well, I mean, smell and stuff like that that's one of the ways we get to enjoy food. When are we going to get to enjoy smell with video games?
Dude, I'm going to tell you right now, I will not survive if I could, like, smell, like, diverting from video games, just anime for a second. Like, some of the food that I see on there, oh,
dude,
my God.
I want to go to UA just so that I can eat some of the food.
Right?
I can go train and then eat that food.
So, anyways, off that tangent, just thinking about smelling and media in general. Like,
oh yeah. We'd be worse for wear, but this man would tell you I was absolutely addicted.
Yeah.
And something I mentioned on our podcast, off our podcast.
Yeah.
Oh man, we're gonna have a heck of a Patreon if we ever start one. But we'll have plenty of content. So this guy, it was about what did I call it? Gaming psychosis.
Psychosis, yeah.
Where folks were playing, and the example I'm going to use is the game Second Life.
Okay.
Folks who were coping with their real life by playing the game Second Life. Yeah, absolutely. And they were, they could be whoever they wanted, whatever gender they wanted.
Yeah.
And it was this wonderful escape. And when someone like that gets too extreme into it, they may I would imagine, not a ton of cases, have developed where folks experience gaming psychosis, where they truly believe that if they unlifed themselves, that they would just spend the rest of their eternity in their second life, in their game. And I feel like at that point, family and friends, please step in.
Yeah.
If you hear of talk like that. I mean...
And like I said, it goes so far that there are anime genres based on that. Literally an anime subgenre based exactly on that.
Yeah.
Dying and being reincarnated in a video game. I can't even think of the word. Like it's an actual...
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of the word for it, but it's a genre. If you listen and know what it is, let me know.
It's such a wild subject, but I think after like doing just a little bit of research and thinking on this, leading up to us talking about it, I've came to the conclusion that video games kind of fall in with just anything else that you enjoy in life.
Yeah, I was going to ask, do you think they're killing us? As the title suggests, video games, are they killing us? Are they rotting our brains?
I think we're allowing them, for those who have a negative effect, we are allowing it to.
I was going to say, I think they have just as much potential as anything else in our life. I think too much of anything can rot your brain.
Right.
I think too much of any sort of media that you consume, positive, negative, can shift your perspective on life. It is going to influence you because that is what it is designed to do.
Right.
Media, whether it's news, whether it is a movie, whether it is a video game, whether it is a book.
Our podcast.
It is designed to make you feel a certain way, to think a certain way.
And keep you.
Yeah.
It wants to keep you.
Yeah. Social media, it's completely designed to hook you and keep you. I mean, that's what it's for. And as with everything, I think it's good in moderation. And that's going to depend on you and your who you are as a person. You're going to know your limits. You're going to know what is moderate for you.
Yeah.
What may be moderate for you may not be moderate for me.
Right.
Moderate for you may be 6 to 8 hours. Moderate for me may be 2.
And you may not have the boundaries set for yourself and in your life to know how to moderate.
Yep.
You may have no idea. Folks with, drug and alcohol addictions, playing video games, you might just have a super addictive personality that you've developed.
Yep.
I don't think is just I say it's my belief, but I believe it as the gospel that we weren't born with addictive personalities. We weren't born with certain traits, that they were developed. No matter how, they were developed somehow.
Okay.
Whether it's environmental, cultural, whatever it is, you have developed it some kind of way.
Okay.
Whether it's positive or negative. But if you have developed this addictive personality, maybe you don't know how to moderate yet.
Absolutely.
Maybe you don't know how. But that's that. Get addicted to our podcast, though, if you're going to get addicted to something.
Yeah, if you're going to fucking do it, do it.
Yeah, if you're going to get unhealthy and lose your job and your marriage, do it for us.
Pump our views while you're doing it.
Do it for us.
Do it for the podcast. Do it for the CS podcast.
Yeah.
Speaking of doing it for the CS podcast, you can go and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Leave us a 5-star review. Let us know. You write down a review too. Leave us a comment there because that really helps pump the ratings up a little bit and get us out there to other people. Tell us what your favorite video game is. Tell us what your latest addiction is. Maybe it's not video games. Maybe you're really really into, I don't know. What is it? Remember when we were kids and you could make the bead art?
Yeah.
Maybe you're really into the bead art.
Oh.
Maybe that's what you're addicted to right now. I don't know. Maybe you're addicted to sub sandwiches. Or you can go on to Spotify, leave us a 5-star review there, and follow us so that you can, you'll know whenever we put out a new episode. And then you can like and subscribe. Like this video, subscribe to our channel on YouTube. If you're not watching this on YouTube, I don't know why, because it's far more entertaining because you get to see our beautiful shining faces and you get to see our really cool thumbnails that you don't get to see on Spotify or iTunes. So that's a good reason to go find us on YouTube. And then you can follow us on, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at OfficialCSPod.
Subscribe to us on YouTube, if nothing else, for the shorts.
I was going to say, we do shorts now. So you can, we do bite-sized, digestible content from each episode that you can just...
I think we do a body good in long form.
Yeah.
So if you're watching this on a YouTube short, digest us the long way. Watch our actual full-length episodes. We see you liking these shorts. We see you looking at us. We're better in big doses. Long, big doses.
Girthy doses.
Big, phallic-shaped, girthy
Big
doses.
girthy doses just take us right in.
Consume.
Well, I know what TikTok's going out this week. Not TikTok, short. Well, it could be a TikTok too. I don't care.
Absolutely.
right.
If I'll ever upload one.
And I feel that. That was me for so long because it's so much work. Like
Mentally, I think about it.
Yeah.
If I uploaded a TikTok every time I thought about it, I'd be beating you with how many shorts were uploaded.
Well, see,
and
what's
you're the
great-
one who edits them.
Well, what's great with the shorts is I can schedule them.
That's
so
true.
it takes the work out. I can go in on a Monday and schedule out the shorts for the week and
That's-
then be done. That's the hard thing with TikTok for me.
Yeah.
Is I can't schedule. But
Come on,
anyways,
TikTok, step it up.
speaking of scheduling, I want you to schedule some time to create something this week. Whether it be something.
Every time you get this way, I feel like I have to be more serious because you get real somber.
Yeah, I'm really trying to drive home the point. Like I think we should be creating as human beings. Like that's what we should be doing. Like I think it does the body and the mind good to create something. Whether you're cooking, whether you're drawing, whether you're writing, even if you're just journaling or writing for yourself.
Maybe you're developing an addictive video game.
Yeah. That act of pouring some of yourself into the physical world is I think it's important.
It is.
So, yeah, just take a couple minutes, sit down, clear your head, clear your mind, and then just create something. Just take a minute to breathe
And if you
and then
want
put it out into the world.
Yeah. Clear your mind, create whatever it is you want to create. Maybe it's something completely new.
Yeah.
But if you want some accountability or you want somewhere to show it off, maybe you don't have anybody who will appreciate it or actually take the time to look at it. Let us be that person for you.
Yeah,
Or
tag us on
those
Twitter.
people. Tag us on Twitter.
Tag us on Instagram.
Tag us on Instagram.
I love to see cool shit. Like,
Right. Yeah, even if you don't think it's worthy of showing anybody, we would just love to see it and commend you for a job well done on not the art itself or whatever it is, but just the act of getting creative.
yeah, and I think I can speak for both of us. One of the main reasons we created this podcast, one, I mean, as a creative outlet for us to create shit.
Right.
But two, to see all the cool shit that you create.
That was the biggest reason.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
I would think.
Yeah.
I mean, we're fairly selfish, but like we want to see you guys create and what you have going on in your lives and create that I think community.
Community.
is the word I know
looking
I'm
for.
looking for.
Yeah.
Community to have a safe place for you to show off whatever it is you like to do.
Yep.
And, that's morally, like, ethical and
Yeah.
good, your craft. Show us your craft.
Yeah.
Unless
you're a
you-
serial killer.
Unless you name your genitalia craft, don't show us your craft.
Don't show us craft, please.
Now, if you
You can
want
put your craft back in the box.
yeah. Now, if you have art that is of genitalia, like crafted,
We have one of those. I should have brought that in here.
our
Our coctopus.
I haven't heard that word in so long.
I forgot about our coctopus. Oh, I got to bring him back in here.
Oh, wow. That we bought from a local artist in Jackson.
No, it was down Key Largo, I think. It was in the Keys.
Okay, we
were
hadn't
coming
made it
out
that
of Key
far.
West.
Yeah, Morgan didn't drive us very far before we had to stop.
Yeah, we.
I was like, here we go.
Yep.
We're leaving. Now we're at a flea market.
Yep. It was worth it, though.
It was. It totally was. But cool. Well, this has been a lengthier episode, but
Girthier episode. There's quite a bit of depth to
it was
it.
longer formed.
Yeah.
All the other episodes are jealous because
Yeah.
I don't know. But those YouTube shorts, they really get it done.
Yeah.
That's what's making it happen. That's what's bringing in.
They're the chodes of our podcast. They're short, packed with a lot of content.
Ready to just get all over your device. Whatever you watch us on, let our chodely shorts explode on your devices.
Till next time, my gasling gang. Go for it.
I've been the Scottish hush puppy, and I got some food to go eat.
Until then, my ghastly gang, stay spooky.
Jordan Bell stirred. Jordan Bell stirred.
Create shit. Build anything. Make it real.
I've been getting dirty money, Jordan Bell third. Stacking penny stocks while I'm flipping these birds. Sipping on Ciroc, trip 'em up with the words. I done popped the molly and I think it's be my third.